Good morning. Let's see. Don't know who's here, but looks like somebody's here. Just getting the clock set up for class. So I don't have to run out in the middle of class this time and go get it. That was what I did last week. Trying to learn from my experience each time. There you go. Important. Hey, Sarah. Welcome. How are you? Long time no see, huh? All right, I'm gonna get a sip of water back here. So if you saw in my earlier message, grab a strap of some type. So while we wait a few minutes to get ready, I have this cool strap that is actually the the carrier for my yoga mat, which is conveniently also a yoga strap, but not as long as the ones in the studio, so has some limitations. But if you've got a belt or a scarf, Sarah, right? I know you are my scarf wearing friend, so I know you've got plenty of scarves. We're gonna be stretching our legs in lots of different ways this morning. So you don't have to use actually any type of strap for these stretches. I've done them in plenty of yoga classes where we didn't have any straps, and you just make do, but a strap is a nice thing to have. I have tons of scarves. You also have an actual yoga strap. Oh, Sarah. Why am I not surprised? So prepared. How nice. All right. We'll get started in just a minute. Let's see. So, looks like a few more people. Hey, Nikki, how are you? Welcome. Oh, is Brenna here as well? Okay, I didn't see Brenna's name pop up, but welcome, Brenna, if you're here too. Sorry I missed you. I stepped out of the room for a second to get a clock and also to get my straps. So for those of you who are here, while we just wait maybe another minute to see if anybody else wants to start with us, right? People can always join in later, which is the nice thing about Facebook Live. But we will be stretching our legs this morning early on in class. So if you have a yoga strap, that's great. If you have a belt or a scarf, that is phenomenal. And if you would prefer to use nothing but the strength of your own arms and the support of your own arms, that works too. So no need to have any props. That's kind of a fun thing about practicing at home. I happen to have a lot of yoga props around, but I've been trying to go prop free to, hey, good morning, Kim. Trying to use fewer props in general just to meet the needs of the home yogis since we don't have everything that's in the studio. But for Kim, who's just joining us, some type of a strap will be great today, Kim. So if you have a yoga strap, you can use that. You can also use a scarf or a belt, or you can use your own arms to support your legs. And the plan is to do the leg stretches on the floor in the beginning and then later on in the standing version. So we'll have some fun with that. The straps for me are particularly helpful in the standing version. If you're doing like standing with your leg extended out in front of you, I like to have a strap. There you are, Brenna. Hey, how are you? It's funny, I think that there's a little bit of a lag sometimes between the time that people join and then when Facebook gives me the notification that they're here. All right, well, I'm gonna take my glasses off. Oh, I might bring them with me in case I decide to read something. And head on back to my mat area. All right. So y'all, I'm gonna take my sweatshirt off, get everything ready. All right, let's settle in. we'll start in a seated place today. So speaking of yoga props, if you have a blanket around, and it's your house, right? So of course you've got lots of blankets around. It doesn't have to be an official yoga blanket. It can be nice to put that under your hips and let the hips elevate slightly to allow the natural curve in the spine, allow the knees to fall. Let the palms rest on the thighs. Allow your eyes to close, or if you prefer, let them stay open, but very softly, very gently, the gaze becomes unfocused. And notice your field of vision, even with the eyes closed. Notice that it's not just one uniform blank darkness that you're looking at, but there's an interplay of light, shadow. Notice that it appears without edges and boundaries, just wide, vast. Take a few breaths there, noticing the quality, trying to shift really quickly into that wide and open and expansive place. And then turn your awareness to the sensations in the body, the heaviness, connection of the sitting bones and the legs to the ground, and feeling of the palms resting on the thighs. Feel gravity melt you towards the earth, the shoulders pull down away from the ears. At the same time, the spine is tall, strong. The breathing is natural. There's no need to control it, change it in any way. Begin to become aware of it, where you feel it the most in the body. Letting a natural anchor for your awareness settle, either at the tip of the nose, where the inhale and the exhale first enters the body and exits the body, or perhaps the rise and fall of the chest, or the expansion and contraction of the abdomen. And as your awareness rests lightly on the breath, perhaps you notice other sensations around you. Maybe you notice sounds. I hear the birds. In fact, I think I'll open my windows to allow the bird song to come in even more. Perhaps you notice feelings of temperature or pressure. This can also be a form of meditation that we call choiceless awareness. Not rooting your anchor too heavily onto one thing, but letting this interplay, this dance. Now it's the song of the bird. Now it's the feeling of my breath. Now it's the heaviness of my palms pressing into the thighs. Now it's the sensation of the breath entering the nose. And then a thought arises, and I notice that it has, and it melts away. Spending a few moments to come into this internal place of mindfulness, being in the present moment, such a lovely way to begin the yoga practice on a Saturday morning or any time. Feeling this lovely connection to yourself, and remind yourself that this is your practice. That's one of the lovely things about practicing this way virtually through Facebook Live. Hopefully there's no sense of comparison, of needing to do what I do, what any of the other yogis around us practicing virtually with us do. This is your time to connect with yourself. So make the practice your own and adapt any poses. Come out of them. Stay with the breath. You know, you lose nothing. And perhaps take a moment at the beginning of practice to think about your intention for showing up for yourself on your mat today. While you sit with the breath for a few more moments, I want to share a lovely quote that I heard yesterday from The Lord of the Rings. Right? So, a book that I read long ago. I've seen the movie as well, but I didn't remember this particular quote. It's so appropriate for this time. So Frodo says, "I wish it need not have happened in my time," said Frodo. "So do I," said Gandalf. "And so do we all who live to see such times. But that is not for them to decide. All we have to decide is what we do with the time that is given us." "I wish it need not have happened in my time," said Frodo. "So do I," said Gandalf. "And so do all who live to see such times. But that is not for them to decide. All we have to decide is what to do with the time that is given us." So my intention for the practice is to remember that that's all I can do, is to focus on what I'm doing with my time, with myself. Something I've been talking about with friends, and Sarah was there as part of this conversation, is that sometimes I've noticed throughout this coronavirus pandemic a lot of judgment for others, the actions they're taking, what they're doing or not doing, what our governor is doing or not doing. Lots of judgment, lots and lots of judgment. And while I don't have to agree with everything or everybody, that's not what I'm asking of myself or of you. But my intention for the practice today is to remember that my locus of control is just this person on this mat, this space. That's where I should focus my attention, letting go of judgment of others. And so I connected myself on the mat today. And if that's an intention that resonates with you, I invite you to join me in it. If there's another intention that's meaningful for you to cultivate or to let go of on your mat today, take a moment to bring that into focus. And then when you're ready, open the eyes. Come off of any block or padding that you're seated on. Let's bring ourselves around and find that strap and roll down now to our backs. All right. Start by extending the legs long. Let's get a full body stretch. Extend the arms overhead, point the toes, and wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Oh, time to wake up the spine, wake up the legs. All right, now draw the right knee into the body. Clasp both hands below that knee and start by drawing it up towards the right shoulder. So wake up that hip joint. Apply some pressure. The hips can generally take it. They're really receptive to this constriction here as you press down and then release. Begin to flex the foot. Find your strap and take the middle of that strap or the belt or the scarf, whatever you have. And if you don't have anything, no problem. Just extend the leg up and you can hold behind your shin. And go easy initially. That leg is making a footprint on the ceiling above you. And begin to wiggle it back and forth like you're wiggling a doorknob, just getting that leg nicely lined up in the hip socket. And then some small pulses, front to back, like you're trying to poke that wall in front of you, and then the heel, the wall behind you, and then side to side. And then once that hip feels nice and ready, find some stillness here. You can walk the arms up the strap if you like, or if your strap is longer than mine, you can lower the elbows down to the ground and use those elbows as an anchor to allow the strength of the biceps to apply some gentle pressure, but go easy on those cold, tight hamstrings that you might have this morning, unless you've been out in the garden or out for a run and you're already warmer than I am. And this is when we realize the breath is a tool. Use the breath, breathing in and then sending the breath to the places that are tight, letting the exhales just melt the tension away. Now we move both sides of your strap into the right arm. Left arm comes out to the side as a counterbalance here, and let the leg fall open to the right. So the arm is resting on that right elbow, propping the leg up. The left hip might try to elevate. Aim to keep it down, so keeping the points of contact with the ground. If you need to take that left hand to the left hip to remind it to stay in place, sometimes that can be a nice thing to do. Feeling a nice deep stretch in the inner leg here. And now reach around with the left hand to help draw the strap and the leg back up through center. Keep the strap in the left hand now. Hips stay square, so don't roll up on your hips right away. Let's take this slowly. Let the right arm come out here, maybe to a cactus position. And the right leg just crosses the midline of the body slightly and then stops before you have to roll onto the hip. So we're getting a nice IT band stretch here. So there should be a nice sweet stretch all along the outer edge of that right thigh, from the knee to the hip joint. And if you're not feeling that IT band stretch, then play with the angle of the leg. When you get there, you will know. A few more breaths here. And then you decide, right? It's your practice. Is this feeling good? Would you like to stay here? Or would you like to take this into a spinal twist by now rolling up onto the left hip, gazing out over the right fingertips, and letting the leg fall further open to the left. So these stretches should feel nice. If you've been doing more sitting than usual, not everybody has, but many of us has, then the legs, the hamstrings can be really tight, the hips can be tight. Take the right arm around and draw that leg back up to the center. One more time, let's stretch in the center, but we can go deeper this time. So now walk the arms up the strap, so much so that the torso lifts, the forehead comes towards the toes. This takes a lot of arm strength here. We won't be here too much longer, just 2 more breaths. And then as you exhale, lower the torso down, remove the strap, flex the foot up, keeping it straight and engaged. And then very slowly, as you exhale, begin to lower that heel down to the ground, just as slowly as it goes until the right heel meets the left. Take a moment to pause. Notice the difference between the 2 sides of the legs here. And then let's even things out. So draw the left knee in now, clasp below the left knee, and draw the shoulder, or the knee to the shoulder. And you can probably hear my husband Skyping with his mom in Sweden in the next room. I can hear them quite loudly, so that's all okay. Just let it be part of our practice, part of our meditation. It's part of being at home, right? The interplay of life. Release that hip now, the knee, and bring the strap under the ball of the left foot, extend the leg long. And once again, get that leg lined up in the socket, wiggle it right to left, and then take some pulses forward and back and side to side. And then settle into some stillness here. Once again, deciding if you want to walk the arms up the strap or lower the elbows to the ground. Flexing up through the heel. Breathe into the back of the leg, any tightness you're experiencing. So these stretches also are nice ways to activate the energy channels of the legs, which will serve us well in our strong practice to come. Finding our strength, the strength to root down into the earth gives us the strength to rise up and meet our challenges. Strap now in the left hand, both sides. Right arm comes out as your counterbalance. Let the leg open to the left. Nice deep stretches all along the inside of that left leg. The right hip now might be trying to pop up away from the earth. It's okay if it comes up a little, but just try to remind it to settle. Maybe put the right hand on the hip. Deep Ujjayi breathing. The strap comes around to meet, or the hand comes around to meet the strap. My goodness. Draw the leg up past the midline of the body, keeping the hips square to the ground initially. Just crossing the midline until you find that sweet stretch for the IT band. After a few nice breaths here, it's maybe where you stay, or you may continue to drop the leg to the right, taking this into a spinal twist, gazing to the left. Now you're rolling up onto that right hip. So we're not only preparing the legs for the practice, but twisting and rinsing the spine, getting ready to go. Arm comes around, draw that leg back up to center, hold in the center, walk the arms up the strap, draw the forehead towards the toes, lifting the torso, engaging the bicep strength. 2 more breaths, hold, lift higher. And on your exhale, release, flex that foot. Strap can now drop off to the side. We're done with it for a while. Flex the foot and very slowly now lower it down until both heels meet. One more time now. Point the toes, reach the arms overhead. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Oh yes. Notice how this stretch already feels different than it did 10 minutes ago. Draw the knees into the body and come up to a seated place if you'd like. I love to rock and roll vinyasa. So a few rocks and rolls along the spine. This might not work for your spine, so come up however is best for you. And then the last time, roll over the knees. Walk yourself back into a tabletop position. Spread those fingers wide, root down through the knuckle mounds of the fingers and begin to press into the earth, rounding the spine, taking a cat pose. On your inhale, cow, lower the belly, lift the gaze, open the collarbones. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale. One more time, cycle through. And then bring your spine to neutral. Walk the hands 1 palm's width distance forward. Tuck the toes and use the core to draw you up into downward facing dog. Heels melting down towards the ground. Often we keep a gentle bend here, but the legs might be warmer this morning. You might be able to bring those legs closer to straight, drawing the chest towards the thighs, pressing into the earth, letting the shoulder blades draw onto the back and the top of the back broadens. Pedal the heels if you'd like. Your choice. Perhaps gazing under each opposite armpit. And then walk the hands back for a down dog twist. So just close enough so that you can close that opening as the right hand clasps the outer edge of the left ankle or shin, gazing under the left armpits. Now switch. Right hand comes back to find its spot. Left hand crosses under the body. Twist open. Hand back. Walk forward. Gaze between the hands and step the right foot only. Drop the left knee down. Inhale up. Anjaneyasana. Ooh, so feel that lovely stretch now into the left quad, the left hip flexor. Breathing, breathing, breathing here. Inhale, up, up, up. Exhale, now drop the hands down, shift the hips back over the knee. Extend that left leg to long, flex the foot, and now another deep stretch of the hamstring. Oh, today is all about opening the legs, isn't it? This is half splits. Now, if you are a split person, a former gymnast, or who knows, just somebody who loved doing splits, you can walk the hands back and begin to walk the left knee back. Now, I don't come very far, but we're moving towards a full split here by walking the knee back. You don't have to, you can stay in your half split. But if we're all about opening the leg, then even just walking that left knee back into a partial full split can be nice. All right, now bring the knee back in. Bring the front foot down, once again coming into that lunge. Tuck the back toes, lift the back knee, send that right leg back, pedal out the heels, shake it all loose. Maybe even lift that right leg up, bend the knee, open the hip, roll it out, and change directions. And then drop it down. Let's go to the other side. Inhale the left leg up between the hands. Drop the right knee down. Inhale, Anjaneyasana, upward salute. Breathe into the lunge, into the right quad and hip flexor. I love this pose for the opposition of forces we feel here, rooting down into the ground, feeling that strong connection to the earth, reaching up skyward towards the heavens. One more deep, deep inhale, fill up. Exhale, hands down, shift the hips back. Extend the front leg to long, flex the foot and fold into your half split, Hanumanasana. Hanuman, the Hindu monkey god who apparently made this shape because he was so in love with the moon that he went leaping up in this shape to leap over the moon. So this is monkey pose, Hanumanasana. Walking the hands back, walking the right knee back if you'd like to move towards a full split. Holding here, and if you have yoga blocks, this is a time that can be nice to use them to help support you, but the hands will do just fine if that's what we have, right? Breathing into that full split. Just another breath or two. And then begin to walk that knee back in. Return to your lunge, tuck the right toes, sweep that left leg up, 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 bend the knee, open the hip, circle it out, change directions, and then come back down, press into your downward dog, and then on the inhale, or exhale, bend the knees, look between the hands, step up, and fold forward. Inhale, rise all the way up. I had to kind of round my spine to come up because I'm too close to the door. And then exhale, Samastitihi, hands to heart center. All right, I'm gonna move away from the door, come to the other side of my mat. Sun salutations. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hinge and fold over the hips. Inhale, half lift, hands to shins. Exhale, hands plant, step back, find your plank pose. First round through, let's all drop the knees, bend the elbows to 90 degrees, and then on the exhale, lower the hips, coming into a nice low cobra pose, drawing the elbows into the body, chest lifted. We're holding for a few extra breaths here. In our first back bend, then exhale, tuck the toes, come up onto the knees through table, and then lift the hips, downward facing dog. Remember, every time we lift back into downward dog, it's the core that draws us into the movement. One more inhale. Exhale, bend the knees, look between the hands, step up to the top of the mat. Left toes join the right. Inhale, half lift, extend the spine. Exhale, fold, draw the hands behind the shins to bring you deeper. Inhale, reverse swan dive, coming up with a flat back and then arcing into a gentle back bend. Exhale, hands to the heart. So one more, sun A. This time, option for the full push-up. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hinge forward. Half lift, inhale. Exhale, find your plank pose. Lower the knees if you'd like, or shift the shoulders over the wrists, and with the knees lifted, bend the elbows to 90 degrees. Lower the hips to cobra, or keep the hips and thighs lifted, upward facing dog. Hold, 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 one time here. One more inhale. Exhale, roll over the toes. So if you came to cobra, feel free to come up through the knees or simply press back to a downward dog. Beautiful work, everyone. So that's a vinyasa transition. You know you have options. Lowering to the knees or keeping the knees lifted through your push-up. Cobra or up dog. One more inhale here. Exhale, bend the knees, look between the hands. Step or hop to the top of the mat. Half lift as you inhale. Exhale, fold, fold, fold. Sun B, inhale, chair pose. Sitting the hips back, reaching the arms, sit lower. Your legs are strong and powerful today. We activated the chakra energy channels running all through the legs, so we root down into the earth. This also has the name of Thunderbolt pose, which should be evident right now. You have that power of the Thunderbolt. Exhale, stand high, hinge over the legs, fold, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, hands plant, step back, take a vinyasa transition, knees lifted or lowered. You know the routine. Your back bend, up dog or cobra. Exhale, we meet in down dog. Inhale, right leg up, 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 up. Exhale, let's bend the knee and open the hip. Taking a moment here for a challenge as we move into the Sun B flow. Flipping the dog if you'd like. So begin to rotate on the ball of the back foot. Let the right leg drop down, one arm back bend. Extend that right arm overhead. Nice, beautiful, arcing backwards motion, just like a one-armed wheel. Lovely. Flip back around, reach that right leg up, 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 up. Exhale, step through, spin the back foot, 45 degrees, warrior one, inhale. Exhale, lower the hands, stepping back, vinyasa transition. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward facing dog, left leg. Inhale, up, up, up. Exhale, bend that knee, open the hip. Just this first time, we'll take this option to spin on the ball of the back foot. Let that left foot drop. Left arm reaches, reaches, reaches. Glorious freedom in the back bend. One more inhale here. On your exhale, spin back around. Inhale that left leg up, up, up. Exhale, step through. Right foot 45 degrees. Inhale, arms up. Warrior one. Exhale, frame the foot, step back. Take a vinyasa transition, moving through your flow, or meet us in down dog at any time that the vinyasa transition does not serve you. Downward facing dog. Inhale, lift to your tippy toes, stretching the feet. Exhale, heels down. One more time. Inhale up. Exhale, lower the heels, bend the knees, look up, step or hop up. Half lift, inhale. Exhale, lower. Hold, hold, hold. All right, moving on with our flow. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, forward fold, lowering down. Half lift as you inhale. Exhale, step back, take a flow, or meet us in downward facing dog. Getting ready to lift that right leg up. Inhale, up, 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 up. Exhale, this time just step directly through. No more flipping the dog. Spin the back foot to 45 degrees. Inhale, reach up, 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 up. Warrior one. So in warrior one, we think about the legs on train tracks. So you might, especially for this next transition, want to heel toe that right leg out just a little bit to give each of your hips, each of your legs their own lane. And on your exhale, drop the hands behind you, clasp and make a fist. Inhale, open the chest, gentle back bend. Our transition is humble warrior as we exhale. So we bow down to the inside of the right thigh. Draw the fist upward overhead, getting a lovely shoulder expansion here. Humble warrior. Breathing, breathing, breathing. On your inhale, release the hands. Spin them up. And then exhale the hands to the heart as you straighten the leg. Step the left leg in just about 1 foot. We're coming to pyramid pose here. So for pyramid pose, the hands can be at the heart in prayer pose, or if you'd like, join me in a reverse prayer challenge. So let those hands come behind you. You might just put one fist inside of the other hand, or you might find, I'll turn towards you so you can see, you might find your reverse namaste at your back. Inhale and open. We always find length in the spine here. And then exhale, hinge forward, coming down with a flat back, keeping those hips square. So draw the right hip back, left hip forward. And then at the end, round and tuck the forehead towards the chin, towards the knee. Chin pressing in towards the chest, compression of the thyroid. Breathe, breathe, breathe. If you're struggling with the balance here, feel free to release the hands and frame the foot. And that's what we're all actually about to do. So go ahead and release the hands down, frame the foot. Now launch into that right leg, standing splits. Point that left toe up, 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 up. Inhale, 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 get it higher. And now exhale, IT bend, stretch. Drop the foot behind the right so the outer edges of the feet are touching. And then fold low. Inhale, step that right leg out wide and spin towards the left. Prasarita, wide-legged forward fold. Walk the hands through so that the backs of the hands are lined up with the heels of the feet, and fold into the pose. Rolling the weight here towards the balls of the feet. Again, experiencing that wonderful length and opening you've already cultivated in the backs of the legs. And now you get to celebrate the opening. Inhale, walk your hands up, coming into a halfway lift. Spin the heels in, toes out, bend the knees, hands to the heart, horse pose. Sit low. Roll your weight to the outer edges of the feet and begin to rock from side to side. See how you feel here. If you'd like, join me in taking this into a Skandasana, which is a nice low lunge flow. So we allow ourselves to fall all the way over into a lunge over that right leg, and then shifting towards the left. If this is too much for the knee or the hip joint, then just stay in that horse pose with a gentle rocking motion. But we'll come side to side one more time. One more to the right. And then the left. And then this time we'll hold the lunge on the left. Balance challenge, hands to prayer. Hold and breathe. Hands down, left side, all the way over and hold. Nice work for the hip joints there. And hands up. All right, back to Prasarita, fold into it. And then begin to walk the hands back around towards that right foot. Inhale, right leg up, up, up. We're transitioning into our vinyasa, perhaps with a one leg lifting. Shift the shoulders over the wrists, lower down. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Welcome home. Take a moment to connect with the breath. One more inhale here. Exhale, bend the knees, look up, step or hop up. Half lift as you inhale. Exhale, fold. I'm changing sides of my mat. You stay exactly where you are. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, hinge forward, flowing through our vinyasa transition. Half lift as you inhale. Plant the hands, stepping back, moving towards our left side now of our flow. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Left leg lifts up, 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 point the toes. Exhale, step through, warrior one. Inhale, rise up. Settle in as you exhale. Keeping that pelvis neutral towards the ground, so not a big tilting forward of the tailbone or tilting back of the tailbone. Try to keep it as if your pelvic girdle is a bowl of water. You don't want it to tip out from the front. You don't want it to tip out from the back. You want that water bowl to be stable. Toe heel that left foot out to give yourself 2 lanes now to prepare for humble warrior. Inhale, reach the arms behind you and open the chest. Exhale, bowing down with humility. Humble warrior, perhaps returning to that intention. My intention definitely requires humility. I can only choose what I can do in this moment. I cannot control anybody other than myself. My intention is no judgment towards others. Inhale, rise up. Where did we go from there, my friends? I forgot. Ah, yes. Pyramid pose. Exhale, step forward, hands to the heart. Now you choose your path this time. If you'd like to join me in that reverse namaste, hands come behind the body. Inhale, up. Exhale, hinge over the left leg, flat back on the way down, and then tuck the forehead to meet the knee. Remember your balance, your body. Release the hands to frame the foot if you need them there. We're all just here for another breath. And then all the hands release down to frame the foot as we launch up into half splits, standing splits. So that right leg lifts up, 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 point the toes. Exhale, now IT band stretch, drop into a cross-legged forward fold. Right foot behind the left, fold, fold, fold. On your inhale, step out wide, Prasarita pose. This time another opportunity for a shoulder expansion, so let the arms come behind you, clasping and opening. And release the arms in front of you. All right, my friends, this is a challenging pose, but this time rather than Skandasana, the option for the hips is a floor frog. So let's go ahead and drop the knees down. The feet look like frogs, so they're pointing out away from you. And now walk your knees apart just as far as you can. So mine don't go very far. I don't have a lot of mobility in that hip. And then drop down to the forearms. So if you rock the hips forward, you lessen the tension. If you push the hips back a little bit, it increases. So find the place that's right for you. Some people will go a lot lower than I do in this pose. I don't have a lot of, so what do we call that? That's internal rotation, I guess, of the hips. Or external rotation. I don't have not much rotation of the hips to speak of at all. But that's okay. That's my natural range of motion in my body. It's the way my ball and socket joint is created. And it works for me. My body works for me. That's all that matters. This breath, this pose, the hips, as you know, they take time. Settle in. All right, and now begin to walk yourself back up. The knees might walk in just a little bit. Tuck those toes and then walk the legs back out. Prasarita. Hands perhaps come to the outer edges of the feet. Draw yourself into the pose. Stretch the legs one more time. And then walk the hands around towards the top of the mat. Left leg steps back. Three-legged dog. Exhale. Flow through that vinyasa transition. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. 3 breaths. One more inhale. On your exhale, bend the knees, look between the hands, step all the way up. Half lift as you inhale. Exhale, fold, fold, fold into the pose. Oh, what beauty in the backs of the legs. Inhale, now rise all the way up. Mountain pose. Exhale, Samastitihi, Tadasana. Release the hands down. Take a moment of stillness. Perhaps close the eyes. Feeling the energy, the power, the prana in the body. And as promised, we return now to our 3-part stretches of the legs, but with a strap as our final balancing challenge. So I'll face you for this. So let's begin by drawing the right knee up. So we're in one-legged mountain. Have that strap, that scarf, the belt in your hand. And then bring the strap around the ball of the foot. And that leg comes out to straight. Beautiful, beautiful. A few breaths here into the straight leg. And then take the strap into the right leg. Left arm comes out for counterbalance. And the leg comes out to the right. Falling, as we all know, means that we are yogis. So the lovely saying is that anybody can practice yoga, but only yogis can fall. All right, come back to the center, strap in the left hand, and now spinal twist. Reach that right arm behind you and let the gaze track over those right fingertips. So you're twisting the spine. One more breath here. And then come back to the center. Whoops. I wanted to come out with more grace than that, but I didn't. So here we go, back to one-legged mountain. And then lower that leg down, shake it all loose. Feels good to try, right? That's always where the focus is. It's about the process, the journey, right? All right, left knee up. Strap under the ball of the left foot. Extend through that leg. Stand tall, stand firm. Strap in the left hand, leg open to the left, arm to the right. Keeping that drishti, your gaze, focused on something that's not moving in front of you can help tremendously with the balance. Leg back through the center, strap in the right hand, left arm behind you, twist. Follow the fingers with your gaze. And now back to center. One more time forward. And then release back into your one-legged mountain. And then very gently, perhaps with control, lowering down. Nice work, everybody. Come to the top of your mat. I think this is the top of my mat for now, so I can reach my arms in front of me. Reaching those arms in front of you, and now lifting up to the balls of the feet, standing tall. And we will come to seated by sliding down an imaginary wall. So begin to bend your knees and very, 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 very slowly slide down that wall. Just as slowly as you can until the hips meet the heels. And then if you like another rock and roll vinyasa, go ahead. We'll all come up to seated. So stop here, shift yourself back so those legs can be out in front of you. Feet are flexed. Flesh moves away from your sitting bones. Inhale, reach up, 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 up. And then exhale, let's take a nice forward fold here. We cool and slow down. The neighborhood begins to awaken with weed whackers and mowers. Joining in the song of the birds. Inhale, come up. Draw that right leg in. All right, let's take a challenge here. So see if you can sweep that right arm around the left and take a bind. Inhale up, and now exhale, hinge over the left leg from here. Just a fun challenge and a nice stretch for the shoulders. If the hands don't meet, this is a handy day to do this because you have that strap nearby. You can always hold the strap in the hand to help create the effect of the bind if the fingers don't clasp. And then release. Let's take this to a spinal twist. So pick up that leg, cross it over the left. You can keep the leg extended or bend the heel in towards the hip. Right arm comes behind you at the base of the spine as a kickstand. Left arm sweeps high, and as you exhale, twist open to the right. And now release, get a nice counter twist over to the left side, maybe even dropping down to that elbow and letting the right arm sweep up and over. Oh, getting a lovely side body stretch, and let that wrist dangle, wiggle it out, wiggle the fingers. Release any tension in your jaw here that you might be holding in the face. Let it all soften. And then press back up to seated, extend both legs long, shake them loose. Now draw the left knee into the body. Hinge forward, let that left arm come around. The right arm wraps around to meet it, and we find a bind, either with or without a strap, and then hinge forward over the right leg. One more breath here, and then exhale as you release. Pick up that left leg, cross it over the right thigh, bend the right leg to settle the heel right to the outside of the hip, trying to keep both sitting bones rooted down, and now it's the left hand behind you as your kickstand. Right arm sweeps up and exhale, right elbow to the outside of that left knee, twist to the left. Let every inhale draw the spine taller, and then on the exhale, see if you can go a little further into the twist. And then exhale, release, counter twist over to the right, and then drop the elbow down, sweep the left arm up and over like a rainbow, and shake it loose. Inhale, come back up, send the legs long, shake them out. Wiggle the head, wiggle it all out maybe. Woo! Any energy in the body, it's time to settle as we slow the practice down. Extend the arms over the legs, and then begin to unwind to your mat. Full body stretch when the head hits the ground. Send the fingers long, the toes point, and once again we wiggle the hips, and we wiggle the shoulders. And then draw the knees up and into the body and open them wide. Let's get a happy baby to stretch out those hips, flexing the feet and reaching the hands up for either the outer or the inner edges of the feet or the peace fingers around the big toes. Lots of options here to find your happiest of happy babies. You can stay in stillness or begin to rock from side to side. Applying some more pressure on the feet to draw the hips open, coming into stillness and press that lower back into the ground. And now take the peace fingers around the big toes if you'd like a nice wide V stretch. Stretch out the legs one more time and rock and play. Turn those corners of the mouths up as well. Smile here. It's hard not to in this playful pose. And then the knees draw back in. Wrap the forearms around the shins. Reach for opposite elbows. Draw the forehead up to meet the knees. Gratitude pose. Feeling grateful for what you're able to accomplish. Grateful for the wisdom you cultivate on your mat. And then exhale, lowering down, dropping the head, releasing the arms out to the sides of the body. Spin the palms up. Walk the legs out, open them wide. Toes point towards the corners of the mat. Let the feet fall out. You are in Shavasana. You have arrived at the peak pose of our yoga experience this morning. Close the eyes. Rock the head from side to side until it settles into just the perfect spot. Few deep breaths, inhaling through the nose, let it go through the mouth. And then on the next breath, just allow the breath to settle into its own natural rhythm. Allow the tension to melt away as you grow heavy, soften. Melt into the ground. Settling into your Shavasana. like a longer Shavasana today, then you can go ahead and stop the video now. If you're ready to reawaken to your day, bring the awareness to the feeling of the breath. Notice the rise and fall of the chest. And let movement return. Wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. Rock your head from side to side. Stretch the arms once again overhead. Point the toes. Wiggle the hips and wiggle the shoulders. Then draw the knees into your body and roll over to your favorite side and cradle yourself there. There's no need to rush. You have time for this rebirth into the world. And then press through your top arm to bring yourself to a seated place. I invite you to join me with your hands at heart center. Bowing the chin slightly, close the eyes. Another moment to go inward and return to your intention. I wish it had not happened in my time, said Frodo. So do I, said Gandalf, and so do all who live to see such times. But that is not for them to decide. All we have to decide is what to do with the time that is given us. Inner Light in Me honors the inner light in each one of you. May you all be well, and may all beings everywhere, truly, truly everywhere, and all beings be well. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. I hope you have much beauty in this Saturday. And we will be back next week. I miss the Zoom format so that we could actually chat a little bit before and after class, but I know Shonda's been having a lot of trouble with the Zoom format, and so even she has suggested that perhaps we stick with Facebook Live for a little bit, and it also gives me a better camera angle. I'm able to fit into the frame a little better. So that's why we're going with this Facebook Live, but I miss being able to see and chat with all of you. So do reach out, share a message, let me know how you're doing. And we will be back next Saturday at this time. And of course, as always, if you feel so inclined, we are accepting donations to our studio at letitbe.org. So thank you so much for practicing with me today.